That'd be hilarious.
because then I'll just have like an infinite video where I'll always be behind when I start watching it.
Oh, anxiety's worst nightmare.
That's why I'm never gonna watch Fairy Tale.
Why? It's such a good show.
It's because by the time I get through season 1, there will have already been 3 more seasons come out.
But actually, it's
Fairy Tale's
ending.
over
Like it's
already.
yeah, it's already done.
Well, let me put it this way. Konosuba has 12 episodes. I started watching that show a year ago, and I still have not finished it.
Well, also think of it this way: your free time is like a second a day.
I kind of just prioritize Apex Legends over everything else right now, though. So, if I'm gonna be honest.
I see where your allegiance lies.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Kariki was leading you to a forest temple, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Sorry.
that
It is correct, and I'm going to keep muting myself and unmuting myself so you guys don't hear all the time.
okay? Is that big story thing something that you want to do while Brian's not here?
Oh, that's a good point.
Since going to Afara was his idea, I don't really want to do it without him.
Yeah,
But
maybe
that's just me personally.
we should stop off at the Wizards Guild first.
See if there's any random quests.
See if we can convince them that the all-powerful Taurus wants to join the fight.
Wait, why are we going to the Wizards Guild?
The soldiers said that the Wizards Guild might be able to help. We might be able to help them convince the people who are running the games that magic wielders should be allowed to compete.
Ah, yes. Let's do that.
So I'm definitely the tank now. Well, I was already, but anyway.
Why are all of these images such low quality? Okay, that one's much more better. Okay. So, you currently don't know where the Wizards Guild is. All you know is it exists.
I'm guessing on the way towards Afara, we could just stop off and be like, "Excuse me, do you know where all the people with the pointy hats are?"
Or I could just do a history roll and see if I know where it is.
You've been here before?
Aha.
I was told to avoid this place.
I have been all over this plane before.
I've been everywhere, man.
Not everywhere. Let's see if I can remember how to roll things. I haven't been on here in forever.
You click on your character sheet and then go to core and then down to history.
I'm going to have to learn that soon. Can you please load? It's just a picture, for God's sake. Yeah, Anu knows where it is. You remember it's right there where it is.
It's right there where it is.
So where is it?
I say that literally. Oh, hey, I remember. It's right there where it is.
Beautiful.
What? Pinterest files? What the heck is all of this?
Blah.
Have you been in a Pinterest hole
No,
searching pictures?
I have not. I just found out. Why is there a folder of Pinterest stuff on my desktop?
Open it up and see all the surprises. I don't
Oh.
know.
Oh God, I don't want to. You know what? I'll leave it where it's at right now. We'll not go down that rabbit hole today.
Secret porn folder.
Oh God, I'm sure it's my sister's, so I just want to leave it be. So, yeah, Animaeus realizes that it's literally right next door to a forest temple.
How convenient.
We didn't have to travel far.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
All right, guys. The next session is going to be 2 weeks from now.
At least it wasn't Rock's fault. Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ewan, with your knowledge and the directions that they gave Kiriki, you have a very clear idea of where Forest Temple is. So you make it up to the temple, and it seems to be pretty, it like the road splits, and the temple is to the left, and there's this large open air kind of building where the Wizards Guild is, and it's got a big overhanging patio type deal with the pillars, and there's a whole bunch of different apparatuses set up, like like sundials and timepieces and things of that nature, and just a whole bunch of different mechanical stuff going on. And you can tell from the garb of these people that they are intellectuals and very into what they're doing.
Do I remember if there's any particular etiquette for visiting these people, or whom we should probably seek out in particular?
I will say that you are not super familiar with the Wizards Guild, but you know that there is one guy who's important in the guild, and he is usually the one messing around with one of these timepieces.
Okay.
Do you seek this particular fellow out?
Yes, I do. And as I walk up, I say, that's all wrong. It doesn't account for the fourth dimension at all.
You broke up a little bit. It doesn't account for what?
The fourth dimension at all. You're missing an entire line of time.
Hold on a second. My internet is being stupid. I'm uploading a portrait of this guy, and it's just being really dumb. Like I said, all my files are on the other computer. Can you please just do the thing? Anyway, well, this is doing the stupid thing. The guy's been over this machine. It's got like astral bodies all over it, and sun, moon, different planetary models. And he just kind of brushes his hand over his shoulder. It's like, I told you like a million times, the fourth dimension is just some kind of nonsense these Malaysians keep trying to come up with, and it's just not it. And he looks over his shoulder. He's like, oh, I thought you were somebody else. I'm sorry about that.
Before he has time to turn around, the symbol of Krufix magically appears on my arm.
Said the symbol of Krufix appears on your arm?
Yes.
Hmm.
Don't know if he'll notice that I know it.
Give me some more information about this symbol. Oh my god, just stop uploading if you're not going to do it.
As soon as you want it to stop, it'll finally succeed.
I closed it out. I just kind of stopped caring. Okay, yeah. Give me a little bit more information about this symbol, Tyler. Like, how big is it? Is it like on your shoulder or your forearm or where?
It'll be on my shoulder, and it's just a slightly different color of skin, as if it was like a very old like burn mark.
Also,
Or
Luke, if you
brand.
just wanted to post the link, we could just click on it and look at it.
Yeah, I'm not smart like that. You can call me the inadequate dungeon master.
And I will be your guide to the wonderful world of Dungeons and Dragons.
What does this do? Badoop.
Hey, it's your boy, shirtless.
Oh, it's Ham.
Yeah.
Ah.
The good thing about a magic setting is there's all kinds of art that I can use for random stuff. Okay, so yeah, there's that. And he, as soon as you, Anu, like as soon as he turns around, he immediately notices the symbol. He's like, oh. I'm sorry. I don't think I should have snapped to a conclusion. The fourth dimension is something that's a little bit more of an abstract concept, and we have a little bit of difficulty with it. So I think you might know a little bit more about it. Please tell me how it's wrong. And then he'll just like, step to the side.
I'm sure my esteemed colleague would love to, but currently we don't have the time. See, we're looking for some information regarding entering this tournament.
Ironically.
So the tournament? Oh, the Akroan Games? Yeah, they never let us compete in it. Like I just don't understand any of this nonsense. Like if somebody can hold a bow and shoot a discus out of the air, why can't somebody throw a firebolt at it? There's just as much skill involved. It's not like it homes itself automatically.
Oh, I like this one. And Therese
We've been trying.
is going to just
Go ahead.
like stand up straight, which is still like up to this guy's calf, and, and walk up to him and just extend a hand upward and just be like, Tarus of the Caldera, at your service.
And he'll reach out and say, Hephaestus, but you can call me Hef.
All right, Hugh. I mean, Hef.
So you know a little bit about slinging firebolts, huh?
Well, I've come with some interesting, with a little bit of an interesting situation in that we might have an inn to start gaining access to the games. We were supposed to come and talk to you, of course, but we recently helped some soldiers who are now willing to vouch for our abilities to enter the games as after a bit of a show of force.
He just kind of like looks at you and like looks you up and down, and he's like, "What did you have possibly done to convince the soldiers that it was, worth?"
Let's just say I lit a fire under them.
He's just gonna step back, hold his stomach, let out a big hearty laugh, and like, I like this guy. Well, I'm currently a little bit busy with what I'm doing. Well, I've still got this on my mind. I'm gonna try to figure out the rest of this, apparatus here. But if you actually do have someone to back you, I would love to go take you to the tournament organizer, and sorry, more gas, and take a shot at trying to get us in the games, because we've been dying like to get in and prove our mettle.
Or your magic, in this case, maybe.
TTLETAL, whatever. And this guy is very like animated in the way he speaks. Like he does a lot of stepping about, and when he has something he's excited about, he'll step forward and hold out one hand, kind of like, "I tell you what, son," kind of kind of stuff. So flailing arms around and things. So yeah, he's excitable.
I like him. And I'm going to turn to Claw, or I'm going to turn to Animeus and say, "Can we keep him?"
Sure, but he sleeps outside.
So I don't think I have a very high intelligence stat. It's been a while since I've looked at my character sheet, but what is he currently working on? My intelligence is about. Holy shit, these stats are fantastic. Good God. I don't know what the fuck I was rolling, but I need to do it again. Yeah, so my intelligence isn't great, but we could try. I'm sure between the three of us, we might be able to figure it out.
Roll an investigation.
I would say, hold on a second. Let me take a look at all this stuff again. I'm thinking more of an knowledge arcana type stuff.
So just arcana?
Yeah.
We have a 7 and a 5 modifier, and we can't barely break double digits.
Hold on, I'm gonna use my luck dice for this.
Hey!
Yeah! So I'm down to 2.
And what was the second roll?
He did a luck dice to re-roll the roll.
Oh, okay.
So 20. So 26.
Tell me what you figured out about it, Anu.
I see your problem. Uh, I pick out a speck
Whoa,
from one of the
racist.
gear shafts, and and suddenly everything starts moving again.
Everything starts moving. He just goes, huh. Uh, huh. It'll just be like, ha! I told you, Steve, I'd get it working again. Thank you.
Yeah, screw you, Steve.
So, Hef is just going to make a few little adjustments on the machine, and he said, "Well, it appears I've got some free time on my hands."
But
It wasn't intentional. Oh God, I hate myself.
Roxwell F dies. Damn it.
Oh, uh, while you're
But yes,
there,
we will have to.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but we will have to discuss adding another layer to this device at some point so that it uh, meets specifications for the fourth dimension. But let's deal with this first.
And he says, "Well, since it seems that you know what you're doing," and he like leans over and blows some more dust out of the machine. It's like we're gonna have to reiterate on my plans over here. Yeah, but while they're there, Kariki is the thought of mine to pull out the sandals and ask what they, if they're, important. And Hef is going to be like, "Oh, I haven't seen a pair of these in a long time." He goes over and he takes them, and he puts his hands in the latches, and he's like, "I used to love these things," and everything that he does with his hands is really quick. Like he puts them on his wrists and fastens them down. And he's like, "I used to, mess with people all the time with these things." And he sprints over to one of the other wizards, taps him on the shoulder. When he looks away, he snatches a tool out from under him and sticks it in the seat of his, in his butt crack in his robe, and then just runs back over and starts snickering. The other guy's like, "What?" Has no idea what's going on, just looking around. And all of this is within like a couple of seconds. And he'll take them off and hand them back to Kariki, and he'll say, "This is a fantastic find. Where did you get this?" Speaking to all of you.
They were inside
should we tell him?
Yeah, because he might need to cleanse his hands. So, Drew's going to be like, "Oh, they were inside some of, what are they called?
Catablepus.
Yeah. They were inside some corrupted Catablepus that we just killed."
And as you say that, he was reaching up to scratch it. As you say that, he's reaching up to scratch his beard and goes, "You could have told me that first."
It'll be fine with a little sanitation and maybe some herbal therapy.
And then he just immediately casts prestidigitation on his face. So you just see like the magical aura, and like a lot of dust just gets pulled out of his beard, and he goes, "It still didn't get it out. Dang it."
But it's great for the sinuses, right?
Okay, so you guys have some Fleetfoot sandals.
Fleetfoot sandals. Fun.
Fleetfoot sandals.
So Hef says, "All right, well, if you're ready to go talk to the tournament organizer, I can lead you right to him."
Who was our in exactly?
There was the leader of the
guard dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to remember.
So what do they do? I'm assuming they were fleet feather sandals.
Hold on a second. It's something of my own creation. Okay, it should be in your journals.
Oh yeah, it's at the top though. So if you want to toss it in the handouts, you can just click on it and drag it down.
Da-dum.
Also, the Book of Mass Healing's up there.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I forgot you guys had that.
That's why handouts are awesome. Sandals with little wings etched in the straps. 1 extra bonus action. Wow, that's really good. An additional 20 movement speed.
Those are some nice sandals.
Yeah.
That would be perfect for the rogue who just left.
Also, the monk doesn't have any cool things yet.
Really? I didn't know that. Maybe we should give it to the monk.
Creepy. I think Animates could probably use those to some pretty good effect. If you have any objections, you should say so.
Oh, no objections. He's quiet. Takes them from Creaky's hands and just throws them at Animaeus.
I'm still looking at. Hold on, perception check, because I'm still looking at the machine.
They're gonna hit you square in the face.
Disadvantage.
Reflex save.
No, not fair.
Okay, so he now knows they're coming. Can he reflex his way to stop them?
So my hand just reaches out behind me and I grab both of them real quick as I'm like still looking at this thing, and then I bring them to my face because I'm not thinking about what they are. My face turns very sour when I cast prestidigitation. Gotta get rid of them.
The new name of this session is going to be the prestidigitation session. I might have to clean it up a little bit in editing.
It's a prestidigitation session because it's technically magic, but there's a lot of options and not much happening. All right.
Excuse me.
Bless him.
Thank you. So, Hef is just gonna like make a beeline out into the street. He doesn't even say anything. He just kind of like gets going.
Shit, follow him.
Onward to glory.
Onward to victory.
Excuse me. Okay. So he leads you through the streets of of Akros. More kind of, sideways looks, and a lot of people just kind of roll their eyes at this guy because leading people around, and it kind of seems like a lot of people know him. They'll throw up their hands at him, say, "Hey, Hef," he'll say something back, and then a couple of times you hear a couple of women go, "Oh!" and then he like snaps his fingers and he's like, "Mage hand."
Oh God.
It feels like turns around and winks at you guys.
So it sounds like we got to be careful as far as who Hef's near.
Wow, that was a reach.
And man, she's just like, oh, we're playing that
way. Have you ever wondered how wizards play Rochambeau?
Oh God.
Things that keep you up at night, right?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, he leads you through the streets, and then you come to this like big dome, and there are just people huddled up everywhere around this dome, like people standing in lines for like food stands, and people trying to get into the arena. And it's a big glass top dome, and he escorts you through a couple of lines, cutting in line through some people just to get through, and leads you into this building where there's this massive shirtless dude standing in a corner talking to a bunch of people, and looks very stoic. And the guy looks over his head, or looks over his shoulder once he sees Hef and you guys enter the room. He's like, "Hef, for the last time, I told you I don't have time to deal with you and your silly Wizards Guild. You spell slingers need to stay to yourself."
Well, if we had done that, half of your platoon outside would be dead.
Since it's still not wanting to upload art and crap.
God, his nips look angry. Probably because they're in his armpits.
So Hef will say, well, Zoltan, I think I have a good case for us for that. Like he said, one of your platoons would have been squashed by Cataplepus outside if this fella here hadn't entered. intervene, and he'll just like big sweeping motion to Taurus. And Hef just looks just like this scowl of disdain.
Wait, Hef does?
No, not Hef. Zoltan.
Zoltan. Is it? Sliss. Zoltan, for the glory of Zoltan. Yeah, Tarus is going to look at him and just give this cheek to cheek grin across the front of his mask, and do this flourishing bow.
He's like, you saved a platoon of my wolves from Catoblepus. There's no way.
Hey, Tarus, do the thing.
Which thing?
You know the thing.
So,
oh, I got it.
Claw's just in the background rolling his eyes, shaking his head.
So Tarus is going to hold up both of his hands, and fire is just going to start just pouring out of it, and not in like vertical columns, but it's just going to like fire bubbling up from his hands and spilling over his hands like he's producing water, but it's made of fire instead. And he's just going to be like, yes, in fact, I did. I made them look like dogs running home with their tails between their legs.
You know what? That sounds like an intimidation attempt. Roll it.
Shit.
If only I was a bard, I would give you all the inspiration you needed.
Speaking of which, you do.
I do
You still have an inspiration die.
I
Everybody
will use it
does.
to try and make this with advantage. 17's not bad.
17's not bad.
It's above a 15, so it's not.
So Zoltan kind of shifts his weight to one side, crosses his arms, and he's like, so this little mage hold on a second, let me think how I want to word this.
Oh. I was about to say.
Hold on a second, give me a second. Okay, so this little mage had enough destructive power to rescue my platoon and make them look like weaklings. So, and you expect me to believe that? You got guts. You got guts, man. And then he smiles a little bit.
Reese is just grinning, and he's just like, because I mean, he
And Hef is just like puffing his chest out. He's just like, I told you we got gumption, bro.
bruh.
He says it precisely like that.
Yes, no, yeah, that's a direct Hef quote.
Sultan, bruh, let us in the games. Just want to fight dudes, man. Oh, God.
So Zoltan is like his composure like loosens a little bit. He's like, okay, Hef, I'm gonna come clean with you guys. The reason why you guys are not, or why the mages are not allowed to compete in the games, is because they hold their own, like they hold an advantage against everyone else. Like, if you have extra human ability against these other guys, who are doing physical things,
You cut
that
out
gives
again.
you a slight
Against these
up.
other guys, what?
So a slight up. Wait, you said against these other guys?
Yeah.
Okay, against these other guys, that gives you a slight up. Like, you have an advantage. So if we were to let you in the games, it would have to be a completely different division, like a different competition. Like, we would have to have wizard or caster specific competitions.
Therese is going to look up at him and say, "Well, I'm sure it's difficult for you to say that someone like me might have an up." And he's going to like make a point to look directly up at the man. And he's going to go, "But I would accept my own division. A league of our own." We could conflagrate people for the glory of Iroas, of course.
So Zoltan just goes, swallows real hard, just like embodying swallowing his pride. And he's like, Hef, you're going to have to work with my people on this if you want it to happen. Okay? I will give you 2 of my assistants to help me figure this out. Because honestly, I don't know anything about casting. So you might be able to come up with some interesting things. Because, obviously, if this guy, put my guy's dicks in the dirt.
That's such a weird way to phrase it. Oh, God.
And then he just kind of trails off. He leaves it hanging like that.
Oh, God. Well, that was a visual I could have done without.
Hef is just beaming right now.
Particularly from the man in the diaper. So what say you, Hef? Think we could work this out?
And he's just like wringing his hands together. He's like, I have so many ideas. We can have Firebolt Discus. We can do Counter Spell Wars. We can do Discus races. And Zoltan's like, just shut up and go. Like, you figure this out. So he waves 2 other guys over and he says, I'm sorry, guys. You're stuck with Hef. Go figure this out. And just like, groans from these 2 guys. And Hef just like, he's out the door already. He's just like sprinting.
So I'm gonna look at the 2 guys and be like, guys, this is an opportunity. Because if this ends up being a permanent addition to the games, you get to put your names on it. And if it flubs horribly, you can blame it on Hef.
They're just gonna look at each other and look back to you and be like, good point. And they both take off after a Hef. So that leaves you 2 guys in the arena with Zoltan. 3 guys. I apologize. Yeah. I'm going to say that Kariki is at Ifara's temple waiting on you guys to get back.
So I'm going to give Zoltan a little bit of a wave and just be like, looking forward to proving myself to you in the heat of battle.
He's just like, well, we'll see what comes of this. And then he just kind of turns around and gets back to his his business. You can tell it's kind of put a sour taste in his mouth.
Yeah, well, when you talk a lot of shit, eating your words probably is pretty sour.
True enough.
So I'm gonna turn to the boys and be like, "All right, so what's the plan? Do we try and meet back up at a forest temple, or do we try and go help Hugh?"
I'm not sure we should help Hugh anymore.
I forgot his name is. I legitimately called him Hugh and forgot his name was F.
I thought it was just a nickname, so I let it slide.
Same thing.
I realized what had happened, and I was like, "God damn it, that's in character," but that was also a fuck up. Man. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Hef's got this in the bag. So we could try and do a bit of shopping, or we could try and prepare ourselves for the games, or we could meet back up at the Forest Temple.
Do we know when the games start?
They're consistently going on. There's a bunch of different events happening at any given time.
You guys want to see what we can enter now without spellcasting?
Therese is gonna nod and say, I'll be willing to watch if you guys want to play your hand at something. Or hands, as he looks at the monk.
It would be kind of fun. Anyone have any buff spells?
And a third hand appears in between those hands.
Whoa, dude, put that away.
Mage hand, wink. And that's why wizards get all the girls.
Yeah, I could give somebody some haste. Although
Oh,
they might realize very quickly what's happening and that you're kind of cheating, but
nah. I could do 3 attacks in 1 round. What are you talking about?
especially with them boots. Just so many attacks.
You seriously, give me those sandals and I'll put up a show.
Yeah, what is the item requirements? Like, are they allowed to wear stuff, or are they supposed to go in there just like old gladiatorial style and just not have much on?
That's for you to find out.
Because I like cheering for you guys, but I don't know if I want to see a lot of fur just hanging out.
It'd also be kind of funny if they think that they're facing Tiamat in a gladiatorial battle. Or Tiamat, sorry. Tiamat would be interesting too.
Yeah, I would say they would probably shit themselves.
Oh yeah.
It's like, all right, you're in non-magical combat versus the Empress of Dragons. I'm sorry, come again?
Round 1, fight.
All right, be right back. I gotta go get my computer's charger. I'm dying.
Rip. All right, I can sacrifice spell slots.
What are we like shopping for anyway?
Oh, I don't know. I was just we've got a stack of gold and there's a lot of people selling shit, so I thought maybe there might be something cool. I figured if Luke went ahead and mentioned it, then it might be something worth looking into.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you lagged out for that entire introduction, but I think you were saying you're back, so welcome back.
Yay, I'm back. Everybody still here?
Yes.
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait on Mitchell to get back.
But I'm not back yet.
Okay, so are you gonna figure out if you can join some stuff? Because the tournament organizer's standing right in front of you.
So I'm gonna cross my arms and look at you guys and just be like, up to you. They're working on my entry. Or my my trophy.
Claw will step up to the organizer. So what events do you have scheduled for today?
Zoltan will turn and just kind of looks you up and down, like, real quick. Says, "Well, today we have shot put,
Today we
discus, shot put, discus, unarmed combat, like and wrestling, and then that's currently going on. And then this evening, they're going to start the armed combat." Why are you looking on entering something?
What are the rules for the armed combat?
Armed combat is no real weapons. You are given wooden weapons, and 3 hits is a win to the round. No armor, no equipment, no magic.
Do a quick calculation on what my AC would be. Do. I'm not sure. So you don't get any like fights to the death at all?
No, Lord, no. Who do you think we worship, Mogus? We're not in for the slaughter. It's all for the glory of Iroas. He revels in the competition.
Is he gonna revel when a Leonin wins?
Hold on a second, I'm being summoned.
Oh no.
Zoltan has to apparently think about it for a second.
Yeah. Because I think they would be really insulted if a Leonin won.
He's probably just like, ah, shit, that's a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah, my AC is going to be 12. I don't think I would do too hot. Now, if it was just gear right now, I would definitely enter. Bump my AC to a nice solid 24.
But is it good against spell saves?
In an armed combat thing? What kind of spell saves?
You never know what's going to happen. Anyway.
I'll be okay in spell saves.
Yeah. What was the last thing that happened? You asked him about to the death.
Oh,
No.
I was like, so will Iroas still be honored if a Leonin wins? Considering your viewpoints on my people?
You broke up quite a bit.
No!
The last thing I heard was viewpoints on my people, and I didn't hear anything before that.
Would Iroas still be honored if a Leonin wins, considering your viewpoint on my people?
He just kind of gets real serious with you, narrows his eyes, puts some thought into it, and he's like, Iroas is the god of glory and victory. And he revels in glorious combat and acts of heroism. And there's another word I'm looking for, but I can't remember or can't figure it out. So, as long as you're not being underhanded or trying to cheat someone, and you best someone in competition that is fair, he will definitely have glory in it.
Will the people of Akros feel the same? Or will they feel cheated?
That's not for me to decide. I mean, do I look like a politician to you?
I just want to be guaranteed a fair fight.
He just kind of chuckles a little bit and says, believe me, if you do something in that arena that, would disgrace the Iroan name, there will be, there will be a little bit to pay for that, because Iroas does not look favorably on those who try to do the underhanded route. We have seen people cheat or try to cheat before, and they usually don't make it out of the ring. There's a little bit of divine intervention that happens in these situations.
So what's the prize pool for this tournament?
He just kind of like wrinkles his nose a little bit. Prize pool? It's for the glory of Iroas. Oh, and you get a statue, but that's not what we care about.
I think I'll pass.
The good news is I can save you some marble.
Friggin' obelisk to Tarus. That'd be ridiculous.
It'd be every bit of 6 feet tall.
Oh my god. Can you imagine a 6-foot Tarus? So there's a book I need to give to you, Lucas, that lists out magic cards that have been converted to spells for D&D. And one of them in there is biomass mutation.
Oh God.
Which literally it triples the size of the target in every dimension and multiplies their weight by 16.
What?
Again, this is why wizards get all the ladies.
Yes.
You just tear someone apart.
Wild magic surge.
Yeah, I could definitely appreciate that. Okay, so Claw's gonna pass. What does Animeus think about it?
I feel like unarmed combat would be right in his alley.
By armed combat, do you mean these? And Animeus puts up his guns.
He's like, no, armed combat is for the amputees. It's like, and he says, well, if you want to compete in armed combat without a weapon, I mean, there's nothing stopping you.
If I don't need one of those sissy sticks, do I get twice the glory?
Fucking sissy sticks. I'm fucking dying and you can't hear it.
Zoltan's just gonna throw out like a hearty laugh and be like, if you can best someone in one-on-one combat with no weapon, then yes, that will be all, you will have all the glory. He's just gonna shake his head. Sissy sticks.
One more question, and I give a sly look to Tarus. Do people often bet on these games?
He says, yes, we do place bets on people. There are several guild houses who do the bets, but it seems that, as much as I hate to say it, the most lucrative guild house belongs to the sorry, to the people of the Church of Phoenix. They seem to do the best this time of year. So if you want to get your hand in on some bets, then they would be the people to go to.
I missed the name that you said. What people?
To the Church of Phoenix.
Ah, I see. Well, sign me up, Tarus. We've got a guild to go check out.
You had me at betting.
Claw, I assume this isn't to your tastes?
Not going to Phoenix. No. But there's nothing better to do. I'd rather follow you guys than stick around with the cleric. At least you two are entertaining. And he kind of gives like this weird, awkward finger gun towards Tarus.
They grow up so fast.
Animagus just looks down, pointedly down at Tarus. I'm not so sure.
It's cool. I'll just take this knife out of my back when I get to it.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, Zoltan says, if you want to get in on any of the competition going on, there are still enrollment, and anything coming up within the next few days, it's better to get in early because there are only so many slots. But yeah, so if you decide you want in on this on the party, you know who to visit.
Oh, he said slots. Thank gods.
But yeah, go ahead and sign me up for this evening's bout.
Right, so he's going to go over to the shelf, and there are several open books. And he takes one of them down that's got several names on the list, and he's going to put it down in front of you and hand you a quill and says, all right, I'm going to need your name and and how you want us to announce you. So there are two columns, your name and your competition name.
How big is this space on the side that's not my name?
It's notably smaller than the actual side for the name. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna no. Hold on a second.
What was that?
I'm gonna fall asleep if I stay in there.
Oh, I understand that. It's a lazy day.
Are they shut?
Please. I got distracted. Okay, so yeah, name, competition name. So Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
And now coming in from the west corner, Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt. I cannot wait until Tarus gets his hands on the Spellslinger book.
Wait, what's Spellslinger book?
Until you get your hands on your name and title.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Amanda Hug and Kiss.
No.
It's the throwdown of the century. Mike Hunt took a hell of a pounding in that fight. Oh, dang it. I'm no longer going to be monetized for this video.
Like, I kind of want him to just like in what do we call him? Just in parentheses put let Taurus introduce me. And then, my lords, my ladies, and everyone else here not sitting on a cushion. Today you find yourselves equals, for you are all equally blessed. For I have the pride, the privilege, nay, the pleasure of introducing to you a knight, sired by knights, a man who can trace his lineage back beyond Charlemagne. I first met him atop a mountain near Jerusalem, praying to God and asking his forgiveness for the Saracen blood spilt by his sword. Next, he amazed me still further in Italy, when he saved a fatherless beauty from the would-be ravagings of her dreadful Turkish uncle. In Greece, he spent a year in silence just to better understand the sound of a whisper. And so, without further gilding the lily, and with no more ado, I give to you the seeker of serenity, the protector of Italian virginity, the enforcer of our Lord God, the one, the only, Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein. Like, I'm going to have to just take that entire speech and just actually edit it to make it sound more Magic the Gathering.
Oh, that is beautiful.
God, I miss that fucking movie. It's so good.
There's so many good actors in that movie too.
Oh, it's real good.
So I assume you put let Taurus introduce me in parentheses? Because that's what I've got in my notes now.
Yes, I'll do that. And here I was just going to put like breaker of worlds, enslaver of gods,
Oh, God.
bane, bane of death. Duke of failing to give a fuck about your religious ideologies.
Oh, man. That would be lovely roleplay opportunity right there.
One who is but is not. And then beside the parentheses, I just put yes.
Oh, beautiful. So Zoltan's going to take the book and read it. Ananias. It's just like, oh, God, please don't make me regret this. He's going to circle and he hands it to another guy, and he's like, make note of this. So they put it back on the shelf. And he's like, okay. So the way this works is in 4 hours from now, it's like still 11 a.m. at this time. The tournament is going to start. So everyone who competes is going to meet around the bottom in the prep area. And you can come here early, and I'll lead you down to where that is. And then we'll get you prepped for the battle, or for the fight. And everyone else will be ready in the stands waiting. And then, so he kind of swings his arm open, and he says, the entrance to the stands are this way. So whenever you guys come in, or you'll be ready to watch his fight. And now, if you'll please excuse me, I have some more business to attend to.
I bet you do.
And you hear him chuckle under his breath again as you guys exit the room. Sissy sticks. All right, so you exit this office and are greeted again by the sound of salesmen trying to sell their wares and food and good food, meat cooking over open fires, stands with other all kinds of different sweets and other things. It's quite busy in this area.
I'm gonna roll perception. Do we see any anyone who looks as if they're trying to give a performance, or anyone shady looking?
Or anyone what?
Shady looking in the immediate vicinity.
Okay. You see a satyr across this plaza, and he's standing on top of his cart. Like, short guy, only a little bit taller than Taurus. Little.
Even the satyr is taller than
And he's standing on top of his cart, and he is just belting out, "Come on, come on! Get the wares of Otis Flinthoof, the best in the land. Fighters, onlookers, anyone, come, take a look." And he's, very flamboyant in his actions. Come on, roll 20. Why do you hate me today? Okay, so I guess they're all going to pop up at the same time then.
Oh.
Cool beans.
That is a handsome face.
So, and he looks directly at you three, and he waves you over and says, come take a look at my wares.
I look around and I say, that guy looks very trustworthy.
I mean, yeah, I'm not muted. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at what he's got.
Hey, when you get over there, you notice that it's just a bunch of random junk. Like broken toys, just a whole bunch of different like back scratchers, things that you're gonna find in like a quarter bin at like a flea market. Like it's just a whole bunch of random stuff. So he's trying very hard to upsell this stuff, and he's like, please come, take a look. Here we have, is going to pick up a toy and try to spout some kind of BS about it being owned by somebody famous, and like it's about names of competitors when he picks up like a wooden training sword with like notches taken out of it, like trying to make it sound grandiose, all that stuff. And he's like, but the thing is, The best thing I have to offer is not on this cart. And then he'll step up and he'll jump back on top of his cart and he'll start tap dancing.
Now is it on the cart?
Yeah. and all three of you feel invigorated, almost as if a bard has cast inspiration on you.
Aha.
What kind of inspiration we talking about? We talking about the D6 or the D8 or the D10 kind?
You feel like you could do just about anything.
Ooh, there's a high level bard among us.
And he stops dancing on top, and he jumps down. He's like, "So, what say you, travelers? Competitors or not? Please, please, buy my wares." And he's just gonna give this sly grin.
I think I'm going to use the inspiration against him and incite the sucker.
We don't need to kill. We don't need to do more damage. We just need to fire more arrows.
I has coin. What's your wares?
I like how he turned that around. That's very well done. Very well done.
I tried.
He says, "So, are you planning on competing this evening? Maybe tomorrow? Maybe there's something that can
Yes.
give you a leg up."
Well, I mean, hopefully I would need 2 legs.
Yeah. I'm just offering
like
this one
2 feet.
stilt. That's all I offer. You got this amazing one-legged stilt.
I think he's trying to sell me his soapbox. So, looking over his wares, does he actually have anything interesting around?
Nah, it's just a whole bunch of junk. He's trying to sell you his services right now, and he's like, says, "But you see, I'm in with one of the guilds, and it seems there's a little bit of money to be made, and sometimes the money just falls in people's laps, if you know what I mean."
I do like it when things fall into my lap.
Now you're speaking our language.
So he said you kind of broke up in the middle of it. So you had said he said that he had an in with one of the guilds, and something fall into our lap.
Yeah, and he says there's a lot of money to be made in these situations, and sometimes it can be facilitated that the money
That the money falls right into.
falls into
Okay.
people's laps.
And would you consider yourself a facilitator?
Oh, indeed I am. Otis Flinthoof at your service, if the price is right.
Well, sir, it just so happens that we know a certain someone who will be entering these games this evening, and I'd say he's a sure bet to win.
Of course, if you were to assist him in this fact and then make it so that he had a bit of a chance within the realm of the rules, of course, then I imagine you'd be able to make a right killing on his winning if you knew who and where to bet on. I imagine the odds against him are going to be fairly high in your favor.
He'll start twirling his mustache and be like, "Oh, is that so? Oh, Otis Flinthoof is always in the market for some easy money."
So I'm gonna basically just look over at Claw and double check to see if he's okay with this.
And I am not okay whatsoever. I'm going to turn around and act like I didn't even hear anything.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit for me. Turn around and act what?
Like I didn't even hear anything.
I'm out of chips.
So
Oh,
he's just
no.
going to act like a cat normally and just be all aloof.
Yes, I am indifferent. But judging from really far away.
That's dedication to a character concept right there. So yeah, so I'm going to kind of look at Otis and say, so what would you be able to do for him, for us, for yourself, that would still be within the rules? Because disqualifications, of course, get no one paid.
He says, well, the thing is, rules are very subject to interpretation. So things can be circumvented or maybe bent, tied in knots, if you will. So, there are a few arms that can be twisted here or there.
In the arena and out?
Anywhere you please. So, but this requires a bit of an investment, if I should say, because there are no guarantees in the in betting. So, up front or a lot up front equals a hell of a lot out back.
Therese is going to stroke his chin where there is absolutely no hair. and he's going to say, but we would already be investing with you the knowledge of who is going to win. It seems like a fairly significant payout on our part.
Yes, but with a little bit of guidance, it seems to come back around, and to everyone's benefit, except the poor soul running against you. So he's going to hop down, get in real close, and in between both you and Anu, and then it's just like dead silence around you for just in your vicinity. Like you can't hear anything going on around the immediate area. It's like, so this is how it works. You give me
You broke up.
a small payment up front for my
You broke
services.
up. Give him what?
Okay.
Your soul.
No. So a small payment up front for my services. The bigger the investment, the bigger the reward. So, and if you're confident in your abilities with or without assistance, then that money, the flow of that money can come back to you and to me. So I will put a word in here or there, place some bets, some really lucrative bets, and when all is said and done, you come back to me for your share. Since, you are the ones putting in the real work after all.
Therese is going to look at Anu and see what he's thinking.
This sounds like it could be worth our time. Can you show us proof of your affiliation with said guild you mentioned before?
So he says, well, if you take a trip to the Temple of Phoenix and you mention old Sparky down there, you should get a little bit of the confirmation you need. I expect to see you back soon. And then he drops his little bubble of silence, and the roar of the plaza comes back into play. And he gives you a wink, and he goes back to peddling his garbage wares.
Could be worth looking into.
All right. I turn away from the cart and I'm like, well, boys, we have our inn. Now let's see if we can figure out where this temple is.
I'm going to say, oh, well, if we're going there, then, and I'm going to pull out my traveler's amulet and I'm going to hold it up to the sun.
Ha! It finally got some use. Oh my god, quit going to sleep, computer. So you hold it up, and as you hold it into the sun, it spins for a moment, clockwise, spins counterclockwise again, and then begins to glow, and a narrow ray of light about the width of, I don't know, about half the size of a pencil, makes a beeline straight into the building behind Otis. And it's a very open area in this plaza, so like it goes straight into the wall. And angled slightly downwards.
So yeah, if we wanted some rewards, then this seems like the easiest way to get some. Even if Claw wants to do this on his own with no help, we could still make some bets down there.
I'm out of the bubble,
So in a
so I
way, our
can't have
friend
any
earlier was
input.
wrong. There are rewards to this.
He dropped the bubble, so we're back together and talking.
Oh, I didn't know he dropped the bubble. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All I'm saying is you do you, just don't get caught. And if you get caught, I don't know you. Some anonymous person might post the bail, but I don't know you.
I mean, we want to see what this man's reputation is first before we try anything. So
Why you didn't because that would be way too much metagaming. I was gonna say you didn't incite the crap out of him.
No, but you can never trust short people.
And I'm just gonna look straight at you and be like, yeah, I understand.
And Therese is going to happily march towards the temple.
And I'm just gonna shrug to Animeus and follow.
Go to the temple and we're gonna get paid.
Why are these so? I don't understand. Google's all like, "Oh, this is a 1,000 by 6 by 800 image," and then I open it and it's like a 45 by 50. There we go. That's better. Okay. So you make your way through the city, holding up your amulet, and it leads you into walls of a few buildings, and you circumvent them a little bit, and you come to this alley in between two buildings that are fairly close to each other, and the sun is just barely coming in to where you can hold the amulet, and it eventually points straight down. But it's just like an alleyway between two buildings. There's not any discernible entrance offhand.
Well, I don't think I've said this since that orgy in Iretus, but it looks like we're going down, boys. So yeah, Terus is going to walk towards the area where it says we're pointed straight down, and I'm going to test for illusions by kicking it repeatedly.
All right, roll me some investigation or the equivalent. You know 100% for sure that there are no hidden doors here. It's just an alleyway.
You have inspiration if you want it, but your roll's pretty good.
It's good enough for him to know 100% sure that this is just an alleyway.
Is there anything magical in this alleyway?
No. But when you go around the corner and you see a doorway in the side of the building, it does have some runes on it.
What kind of runes? Shit, they're explosive runes, and reading it was the trigger. Ah! I look at the runes. Animace is just showing me up today.
I like to see these 20s, although my luck will be as soon as I get into combat.
Then you'll have Sam's rolls.
I need to get some of these ones out before that.
Man, I mean, I guess someone has to inherit his luck. So yeah, all the rooms going around the archway of this door are things of coin for answers. If information is what you seek, this is the place to be. But sounds cooler. So a lot of things like that, but they are magical seals for sure. And if you approach the doorway, it's like a force is pressing against you to try to keep you out of the doorway. And after a few moments of fiddling around in front of the door, a woman comes up the steps. Like you hear footsteps coming up, and it's a big wooden barred door with a slide on it. And you see eyes peek out through the slide, feminine eyes. And You hear a voice that says, "What brings you to the Temple of Phoenix? State your business."
This nifty
Um,
amulet. Oh, business.
All I do is pull out a gold coin and show her.
And then you can see her eyes smile a little bit, and she says, "Please step right in." And the pressure of the ward drops, and you hear like 11 deadbolts. And the door opens, and it's just a stairwell, a steep stairwell
What business do
going
we
down.
have? Well, I'll wager you already know.
At this point, Claus is like, "You guys go ahead. I'm just gonna post outside."
All right.
Don't get catnapped while we're gone. This is a shady part of town.
It's better than what I was gonna say. Damn it.
I'm gonna fiddle with like all my gold masks outside.
Ching, ching.
Jesus, so racist.
That's not where I was going at all.
Not at all.
Oh, God. Okay. So I'm guessing you follow her down the stairwell?
Yeah, sure. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Sweet. So you guys follow her down the stairwell, and you notice that she just leads you down. And no one's tending to the door. But after you get a few steps down, you hear the door close. Claw you too. And just all the deadbolts lock themselves.
Well,
Could I feel any air coming from that opening, or is it just any sort of air at all?
Yes. It was like a forceful exertion of air away from the door. So, like, not like when a door slams forceful air, but like even more than that, like a concussive thing.
What kind of air was it? Like, was it like stale or musky or?
It's like a musky smell,
Yeah,
like
cats
thick.
don't do well down there.
And then she'll turn and look over her shoulder, and she'll do like a dim light spell in her hand and says, "Please, this way." And she leads you down the stairs to like just a landing where the stairwell ends, and then there's just nothing. There's just bare walls. And then she'll turn to the right, take her middle finger and knock on the wall. She turns 3 times. She turns to the left and knocks on the wall 4 times. She kicks the floor, like the wall directly in front of you, twice. And then she clears her throat. And the door in front raises up. It's like a door appears and then it lifts vertically, like a sliding slab of stone. And she proceeds through the doorway.
And now we know the secret code.
Come on, computer, stop going
was
to sleep.
was there any bodies on the other side of it?
No. It's just another corridor.
If she tries to use these heads to make a shell game, I'm just going to be thoroughly entertained.
Okay, so I'm assuming you follow her through the corridor.
Yeah, why not?
Yep. So again, as you go through the corridor, after you get a few steps through, the door slams behind, and you can see light at the end of this really long tunnel. Like it's a dim light, but it's just smooth stone walls on either side. And about 50 yards, the room opens up into this kind of tavern-like area where there's a bar where food is being served, and a bunch of seats, but they're all like sectioned off, like kind of like booths in a restaurant, but they each have their own doors, and all of them are open. There's a few people milling about, but all of them have the robes on, like she has. And she leads you over to one of the rooms, which is large enough for 4 people to sit in comfortably with a table in the middle. And she says, "Please have a seat."
I'll grab a seat. Out of curiosity, Lucas, and this is kind of out of game, very much out of game. Since Sam is not going to be able to join us anymore, would you be interested in adding another player?
I'd be cool with that.
I've got a buddy from college who works as a psychologist or a counselor,
Mhm.
who I have played with in the past. He's a really good friend of mine. I've known him for a very long time. I was one of the best men at his wedding. So I don't think is doing anything on most Sundays now that his wife is working around and stuff. So yeah, I might be able to ask him if he's free if you're interested in getting another player.
Oh yeah, sure. I definitely don't have a problem with taking one more
Might help shore
on.
up our numbers again. So
So, yep.
Try to talk him into playing a rogue.
Alrighty. Yeah, he actually just messaged me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to play some games or something?" And I was like, "I'm in a game already, playing some D&D." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And he has heard about this D&D campaign a couple times before because he's messaged me in the past asking for games, and I've been like, "Can't D&D." And
Yep.
so he knows a little bit about it. He knows that it's a Planeswalkers campaign. He and I played Magic for years when I was in college, so he is familiar with the lore already. And yeah, I think he'd be a pretty cool addition. Some of my other friends that have interacted with him have said that he does have a tendency, he can be a little bit of a dick sometimes, but all said, I think he's a really cool guy and he's a really good guy. He can be a bit abrasive on occasion, mostly just with jokes that are a bit inappropriate. But I think if that doesn't fit in with our group, I don't know what would.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That pretty much just kind of seems like it rolls with our style already.
So, but yeah, so I'll try and introduce him to you at some point later after the session or something, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, sounds good. Just tell him to hit me up if he's interested. Oh my god, stop going to sleep. I've changed the settings I don't know how many times. Okay, so... What? Okay, there we go. Okay, so you guys take a seat in this little room, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it. It's mine now.
And,
That was
know-
actually oddly perfect timing for you to say that. My lady friend just had me open something for her, and then I took it and took a sip from it, and you're like, I'm going to keep it. It's mine now. And I'm like, what he said.
nice.
Glad to be of service.
So, yeah, so you guys sit down, and she comes into the room and closes it. And again, it's, you could hear people moving around and, a little bit of bustle down there. But as soon as she closes the door, it's just complete silence except for what's happening in the room. And she sits and puts her elbows on the table.
That smell.
Yeah. She sits and leans forward and says, "So, how can I help you two?"
I believe we're here to see about some claims made by an affiliate of yours.
And who might it be who claims to be in affiliation with us?
Terus is going to flick his, he's going to snap his fingers and open up his palm and minor illusion a picture of the dude's face.
That face. A face only a mother could love.
Isn't it glorious?
Or perhaps the god of nature.
Damn, nature, you ugly.
She gives like a very, very slight smile in the corners of her mouth and says, "Oh, so I see our good buddy Otis has sent you our way. I suppose you're looking to make a little bit of coin."
Actually, we were hoping everybody could make a lot of bit of coin.
She kind of chuckles and says, "That's exactly what I like to hear." So did he give you the rundown on how all this works?
Well, he gave us some information about it, yes. But he didn't. He wasn't explicit with the details. Since we were up top and not in a secure and secretive location where no one would ever find our bodies.
You get no
I look at him and
reaction from her.
Like, God,
just like it's a very matter of fact statement. So she says, "Okay, so I suppose you came here for a bit of validation."
Yeah, and the fact that the fact that you recognized him is already some credit in his favor.
She says, "Well, the old Cinderhoof has been working with us for a good little while, and his endeavors seem to be profitable. He knows how to spot the people who are going to you know rake it in for us. So you have my word of
You vouch for his character.
whatever the word I was looking for is. What was that?
You vouch for his character.
Yes, I vouch for him. There it is.
He
Check.
also mentioned that there might be ways we could increase potential of our preferred fighter that wouldn't clash with the rules.
And she says, well, that's where we come in. The details are not important. It's the outcome.
And is there any way of... Have there been other instances of your intervention that have been successful in the past? No offense intended, of course. Just wanting to make sure that our investments are safe.
Instances of your intervention. What? I heard the rest. It's just the last bit of that.
Where your interventions have been successful.
She says, you know when you're walking through the street and you hear someone's pockets heavy with coin, that jingle jangle of success? We've always had a hand in that, and we always will.
A hand in their coin purse? He's going to raise an eyebrow salaciously.
And she just kind of leans back and crosses her arms and shrugs.
Therese isn't going to say this out loud, but he's thinking to himself, geez, I didn't realize this was the Guild of Dead Fish.
Yep. And she says, so is there anything else I can help you with, or are we going to go forward with this?
Therese is going to shrug and look at Animes. What race are you, Animes? Or do we not know
I look
yet?
human. Yeah, you guys don't know yet. I look human. Although you have noticed odd things like the color of my skin randomly changing or certain things appearing on my body that might not have been there before.
So Taurus
I
looks
want
at
to reveal the
Anu, and
reason
Anu
for that.
says,
I say I scratch my chin hairs that probably weren't there before. And I say, it sounds like fun to me. Here's what we're gonna do to push the edge on the bets. I'm currently hated by a large percentage of the gods. That's in our favor right now. And I'm not using a weapon.
and she's going to lean back and smile and say, in armed combat? That's going to raise a few eyebrows.
Yes, and hopefully tank the amount of people that might want to bet in my favor. There's no way a weaponless newcomer who's hated by the gods could ever win.
She nods and leans forward and says, "We'll see what we can do." And then she reaches up and you hear the jingle of coins and said, "Here you go." Hands you a bunch of coins and says, "But this one's mine," and puts a coin in her pocket, a gold coin. So you reach down to find that Tarus's gold purse is not there anymore.
Nice.
So should I subtract that from my character's money?
I'm sorry, what was that? You broke up a little bit.
Should I subtract that from my character's money?
Yes, you should.
Just one coin or
1 gold piece.
Unless you want to invest more, I don't think.
So Teresa's going to look at that and say, so is that the commissioner's fee or is that what I'm betting?
Oh, no, that's just for me.
Then I am going to
the
take the coin
information.
purse from her, and before I put it back on my waist, I am going to tilt it out into her hand and give her another 10. And then I'm going to say, but please ask permission before touching my... And I'm going to look down at the bag and just say, personals.
She just gives you a warm
what?
smile and be like, "Not the first time anyone's told me that."
She says a warm
she
what?
takes the coins. She says, "It's not the first time anyone's told me that or asked me that," and then she just takes the coins. And then she takes a little notebook out and she looks at you both and writes something in it and snaps it closed and says, "I believe we're done here." And then the room goes dark, and all of a sudden you're standing in front of Claw again.
Hey, Claw, old buddy, old friend, old pal. How you been? Well, are we still alive, right? Can you see us?
If we were dead here, we would definitely know it.
I'm gonna kind of like pick up my tail and try to straighten it out from being poofed. Yeah, fancy meeting you here. I take it you got kicked out?
Favorably. It was more forcibly ushered. But yeah, I think we're ready to go. So let's say we get this this fight started, eh?
After
Let's
this,
fight?
after these games are over, we really need to come back here and get some, learn some of their magic craft. That was a neat little trick with the room. I didn't even sense that coming. Did you sense that coming?
Sorry, all I heard was we need to come back here and get some, and then something about coming.
No joke.
Darus is going to tighten his coin purse back on his waist.
Yeah, but no, Animeus asked Tarus. I was like, did you sense that coming? I didn't sense that coming.
Darus is going to shake his head and be like, no, but magic will do what magic do.
Yes, but it drives me nuts when magic does things that I didn't know it could do before. You see Anime slip into nerd mode as he pulls out his notebook and like starts thinking about all the parameters and possibilities of such spell work.
Claw, you're what? You're a ranger?
I'm a paladin.
Paladin?
A ranger would be really weird, but a ranger fits my my art though.
Yeah, that's why I'd asked. I was like, I don't remember you being like fighting from ranged, but
No, I'm up front. I am the tank of the party, evidently. Especially now that I got rid of my barbarian multi-classing for a little bit. So, what are we going to do now?
What are we going to do tomorrow night, Brain?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Snarf. Yeah. How much time do we have? I mean, he said wasn't the unarmed combat happening now, but you wanted to enter the weapon combat with your fists,
With the fisticuffs.
which would be tonight.
Yes.
So, how much time do we have left in the day before the nightly festivities?
I was muted, god dang it. You have 3 hours left.
So, are there any goods for sale that are actually worth a damn?
You can go look. It's mostly just like novelty stuff that these guys are selling. If you wanted to go buy some gear, you'd have to actually go to the commercial district, which is in a different area of the city.
About how long of a walk would it be?
If you rush, you can make,
If you rush, we can make what?
depending on how much. If you rush, you can make it there and back before the festivities start. But it just depends on how many shopkeepers have to clean up after Claus knocking shit off their tables.
That's great.
I see how it is. Only if there's drinks. That's when I'll knock them off. If there's no drinks, I'm fine.
Or if he gets really excited and can't control his
Lucas, was there any restrictions as far as UA or anything? Any book restrictions? It's been a long while since we made characters, so.
No, none whatsoever. Also, I had some custom races that I had built, and I don't even have access to that stuff anymore. So anything flies.
You should have the custom races in the Facebook Messenger. You posted all of them there, like in the actual Facebook channel that we have.
Oh, okay. Well, then I do have access to those then. So he has access to those then, if he so chooses. But Leonin can probably be substituted for Tabaxi now. Where is the like the bird folk? What book is that out of?
The bird folk.
Hmm.
That would be in Volo's Guide of Monsters.
Okay.
The Aarakocra, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
The very oddly spelled race. Every time I see that, I think of Aaron. If anyone's watched Key and Peele. We're all level 6, right?
Currently, yes.
I just invited him to the group on Facebook.
Sweet.
So his name is Jeremy. And looking at our party composition, he said he's already looking at trying to think up a ranger or a roguelike class.
It would definitely be appreciated.
Some kind of ranged physical damage.
Sweet.
You said the
Alright.
custom characters were in here, all the way at the bottom?
They should be. It'll be one of the first things that got posted, if they're still there.
Oh man, scrolling all the way down.
Or you could just search for documents. I think Google will do that.
Motherfucker. I'm already to October. I'm already to October 1st, 2016. So
you're almost there.
June 1st, 2016. Okay, May. So this is when we're talking about being introduced to each other. Character sheets, form fillables, backstories.
Yeah, if you just search race, they're all going to be there. Leonin, Ifrit, Kitsune, and links to the Zendikar page.
Oh man, we won't have a Kitsune anymore. That was fun. Those are from Kamigawa, right?
Yes.
AKA if Japan were a plane.
So the guy who's playing the Aetherborn, is he a Warforged in your campaign?
No. We took actual Aetherborn qualities from the Kaladesh book.
There's a Kaladesh book.
Oh man, there are so many books. There is
pretty much done with them by now.
Yep. There is Planeswalker. Sorry, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. There is Planeshift, Ixalan, Dominaria, Amonkhet, Kaladesh, and Innistrad.
Yeah, I missed all of that.
Did you miss it like I broke up, or did you miss it as in like...
As in, like, I didn't know all those other ones existed. I knew Ixalan, but I didn't know about Dominaria. Yep. I knew about Zendikar and Ixalan.
Innistrad, Kaladesh, Amonkhet, Ixalan, Dominaria. And, of course, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, which is a full book, and it costs money unless you pirate it like I did. I mean, like I didn't do, I said on camera. You can't see it, but I'm looking at my inactive camera on my laptop right now.
Beautiful. All right. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can pick and choose from. So my custom classes probably don't even matter anymore.
And Zendikar. I forgot about Zendikar.
Yes.
Why is this one out of... Everything was sorted by name except that one. That's annoying.
Which one?
Zendikar, for some reason, was at the bottom of my folder when the rest of them that are also named plain shift blank were all together because it's sorted alphabetically. I don't know why Zendikar was just off on its own somewhere. Doing its own thing. Yeah, so Amonkhet, Dominaria, Innistrad, Ixalan, Kaladesh, Zendikar, and Ravnica. But I can send you links to them, but you can just Google all of these except for Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Yep.
Woo! They're all UA. So I don't know if you'd want to try and bring him in with tying him into us somehow, or I know you've got that overarching storyline from Ravnica. You know, the one the campaign is named after.
Well, that's not really. Yeah. We're not gonna get into that right now. I can make it work. I mean, it's easy enough for. I mean, hell, you've met how many other planeswalkers so far?
2? 3.
Johnny and
Johnny, Skirly, and Ashiok.
Yep. 4 then.
Who am I missing?
The one the Animeus knows about. I don't know if he ever relayed that to everybody.
Oh, well, probably not.
That was like 8 years ago.
I don't even remember what that is. Can you send me like a PM about that?
How do I do that in Roll20 again? I already forgot.
/W space the person's name. And then the message.
I'll be right back. There's a player in one of my campaigns trying to ask me a question.
Fun.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Do you remember, Tyler?
Hold on. I've got so many pages up right now.
Oh no!
What are you buying? What are you buying?
Oh,
I want to know. Is there anything for me? Fine. Don't answer my questions.
Oh, that was.
Is he talking to someone else?
I have no idea. I'm so lost right now.
Are you talking about Tarus's 10 gold points?
Shit. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to mute my mic.
Okay. We were so confused. We're like, we're buying shit for we're buying stuff.
I went on a conversation in Discord and I realized that I didn't mute this, and all I can hear was the scanner going of someone in like a checkout aisle.
Oh. Beautiful.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember that now, Lucas. And no, I didn't tell anyone about what happened. I just mysteriously reappeared.
Well, fine. Keep your secrets. God.
It just didn't come up. I'm no gossip. Oh my god.
Like, oh my god, look at her spark.
It's like so big and round. Like one of those rat planeswalkers' girlfriends.
Wow. So Tyler, Teru's gonna look at you and be like, I don't know why, but I've just got this inkling to ask. Have you ever met any planeswalkers other than us? Hang on, I've got something for this. Nope, that's not it. All the way back up here. There we go. Everyone who's watching the stream is getting treated to another instance of the meta pigeon.
Oh, love it.
I thought that was a great picture.
The thing that confused me is it's wearing like a freaking like the Milky Way galaxy on its neck,
Yeah.
and I don't know why.
It's all knowing. It's an astral pigeon.
That makes sense, actually.
And it fits in the campaign setting. It's a Nyxborn. Yay!
Oh god! If we encounter a Nyxborn pigeon that knows everything,
It's just a Sphinx.
oh god! Can you imagine how much just insult that would be if you find a Sphinx and just be like, "Look, it's a magical cat pigeon."
You would just be smitten right there.
I have been smitten by the kitten. Smite me, oh mighty smiter.
Okay, so yeah.
And he's just going to ignore Taurus.
It's still in his book. Like
Yep. So yeah, if we want to try and see if we can't. Yeah. So that's why it was so confusing. Claw. It's because like you had asked what you're buying, and in the chat was some money listed, and I was just about to talk about us going to the merchant's quarter, and you're like, "What you buying? What are you buying me?" And I was like,
more money. That's what we bought.
Yeah.
Playing the stock market. You're not buying stocks. You're buying money.
So, yeah, if we can make it to the market real fast, I can't think of anything better we've got to do other than
Go into the market and where? Oh dear. Okay.
So what are you looking for?
Everything.
no, just
Everything?
literally just looking, see what they got.
Perusing.
Anything cool catch my eye?
Well, you notice that there is notably a lack of magical items in this area. So they're obviously not big on anything other
That's
than just
fine.
physical
Nobody knows
combat.
Tech magic anyway.
So yeah, and then if you were to inquire about it, you'd just be like, take that crap to the Wizards Guild. So apparently if you want anything enchanted, you can't just buy it. You got to go pay for an enchantment.
Do they have anything pre-enchanted?
It would be funny if we just like showed it back up at the Wizards Guild. Full circle.
You! I need magic things!
We could just make things ourselves.
Bless you.
Hmm. You know, why did we should peruse their scrolls?
That was like a really, really light, like delicate sneeze.
It was dainty. But yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't really find anything pre-enchanted. It's a lot of I'm not gonna say basic armor and weapons, but a lot of the things that you're seeing are like high quality. Like you can find some really nice sharp swords and mace and cereses and pikes and all kinds of that stuff. Also, I just realized that Akira left with the helmet.
What helmet was
Bastard.
this? I'm trying to remember.
The one that gives him like +10 to sneak but makes him deaf.
Oh,
I don't think we need that.
Oh, come on. Those are like those are like some of my favorite items. They can give you like
Yeah, I love
really
that stuff
really
too.
cool
I guess-
things, but they have a downside.
I guess the ones that I have are stinky, and that's the downside.
Yeah, really stinky sandals. Just wait until Claw rolls a 1, though.
I don't want to.
he gets to take another action, but it's only to pass gas. As a free action, you must void your bowels. Well, shit.
Turn.
Exactly.
Turned French.
I love
rolls a critical, rolls a fumble. Ah, shit.
I love items that like give you really cool stuff, but then like impose like a character trait. Like you have to do this thing like every time you see this or that, or like you it makes you like sneeze, or anytime you use it, you're really angry or you're an asshole to everyone. Like,
One of my
Shoot, bless you. Fuck you.
like this gives you magical Tourette's.
The fuck does that mean, bless you? You want to bring the gods into this, motherfucker? We'll go.
one of my favorite items I've done is this little origami crane that that gives you a buff, but I can't remember what the buff is. But the negative is if anything within like a 10-foot radius of it dies, it shrieks.
Oh, that could get obnoxious.
Yeah,
Eventually that person will have character development to where they don't want to kill anyone.
exactly.
Swapping weapons.
I gave it to a barbarian.
First of all, hilarious that a barbarian is carrying around a little origami crane, but
They don't know the downside yet, so they're just gonna think it's like part of the weapon or something, because it's basically like it attaches to the pommel of their sword.
so it's like a keyblade keychain.
Exactly.
I just hope that the one time that it comes up is during a stealth mission. The coup de grace. Ah! Oh god.
or they're trying to sneak somewhere and then someone kills a spider.
Just steps on a bug and it starts screaming.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. It's just if a creature dies, it doesn't matter what the creature is.
What's that?
You guys are giving me
It pretty
flashbacks
much
to last
gives him
night.
automatic death sense.
So, Master of Cruelties has a passive ability that if anything dies within 60 feet of him, he gains 15 temporary hit points and gains advantage on all rolls until the end of his next turn.
And he killed one of their familiars and one of their pets.
He did.
Ooh.
Yep, he speared the familiar and just like left it on his spear and then just basked in the glow of the...
I'm fairly certain that we would have been fucked against such an opponent in our little party.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the benefits that they had was that there were 5 of them and 2 companions, and they were there to rescue a couple other friends that they had made in the campaign, so they could bring more people to bear against this thing.
Okay.
One of my favorite characters too. I made an Etten named Uri and Nark, and one of them talks with a bit of a speech impediment, and the other one is just super ponce sounding. But the one with the speech impediment is actually the one with the brains, and the one that talks nice is a complete fucking moron.
So, no spoilers, but there was a campaign that I saw once who had a couple of Cyclops brothers, and their names were Imba and Seal.
Oh god. Oh, that reminds me. Did you guys know that Etten names in Magic the Gathering lore are literally derived from the names of each of the heads? So Rurik Thar is literally Rurik and Thar.
Wow.
I found that out the other day and I was like, that's just fantastic. But yeah, Urinark is he's fun to roleplay. Like at one point they were just like they were asking about them and they just go, yes, 3 peas in a pod we are. That not right. What are you rambling on about? Knock say that not right. Number is 2. The number is 2 what? High, low, complex? Precisely. Leave the thinking to me and I'll leave the drooling to you. Then Knock like wipes some of the saliva from his mouth and he's not with my arm, you insufferable wart. Wart not here. I said wart, not warrant. I'm calling you a boiler. No. A pimp? No. A tumor. Oh, that's oh. I love those two. They're fun.
Oh, yes, it does sound like a blast. Hey, at least you don't get to, or don't have to torture your players like I did with Scott earlier.
Yeah, they actually like this guy. Like they were just like, we should help him. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, he's Narc is a precious boy. Uri's an asshole, but Narc's good. So they tried to get him a job at the Rakdos Carnarium, and we all saw how that went down.
That sounds like a good place for an Etten.
Yeah, they make good guards because they don't ever really sleep. So in a 24-hour day, they are both awake for 12 hours, and then one sleeps for 6 hours, and then the other head will trade off with them and sleep for 6 hours.
So just one head has to rest at a time?
Yep.
That's not creepy at all.
But yeah, so while we are in the market section, I'm going to see if they have any nice daggers.
As a matter of fact, there is a nice dagger. Quite a few nice daggers. So describe the one that you find and like the best.
I'm going to see if I can't trade in the 2 that I'm currently holding for one really nice one.
So the shopkeep's just kind of sitting with his feet propped up, and you bring up the nice dagger. And how do you propose this to him?
All right, look. Things are usually flammable, but in the rare case that they're not flammable, I need something that I can use to shank somebody with. And I want it to shank real nice.
He's just sitting there with his feet propped up, and he's got this book open. And he's like, well, real nice comes at a real nice price.
And Tarus is going to be like, and he's going to put the dagger that he's got on the table, and he's going to be like, see, this one shanks real nice. And I used it to shank some aspects of a specter that had been sent to murder us by the god of death. So I'm going to need something that can handle that with a little bit more efficiency.
And he leans forward and he takes a coin out of his pocket. And he says, this coin right here, this coin was used to purchase some really nice booty at the brothel yesterday. But I stole it back. Now I'm going to spend it again for lunch. It doesn't make it any more valuable. And he puts it back in his pocket.
Of course not. But I need to know you. I need you to know what kind of quality I'm looking for. If I'm going to spend my coins and not steal them back from you, I need to make sure they're going towards a valuable thing.
So what, it's 2 daggers?
Yeah, I've got 2 daggers. And like, I'm willing to also put in some gold, but you know, I'm just.
So I assume he gets up so he can actually look at you and not just the horns on the mask sticking up over the table.
And I got a
And
short table if I can stick up over it.
he'll lean forward and he'll grab the daggers and he'll look at them. He'll test the edge on them. He'll take them a couple of times on the leather strap and he'll test the edge again. Takes the other one, does the same. He like takes it up and sticks his tongue to it. Or takes the other one, does the same thing. Sticks his tongue to it, makes a sour face. He's like, you just keep smelling it. It'll be like 5 copper pieces and the dagger's yours, along with these.
Yeah. Tarus is gonna nod and say, "Sure, but don't smell my daggers anymore."
and then he takes them and takes your daggers and puts them behind the counter. He said, "They're
Sorry, what?
not yours anymore, buddy." And he pushes the other one
What'd you
back
say?
to you. He takes the 2 daggers you just traded him, puts them behind the counter, and says, "They're not yours anymore, buddy," and pushes the new one over the table to you.
And Tarus is gonna nod and say, "Right, so don't smell this one." And he's going to take the one away from. All right. So is it any kind of better dagger?
It's a +2.
Hey.
That fusion worked really well.
It's got a really fine edge to it. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to delete this old dagger +2 that I have.
Were you saying something, Mitchell?
No, I was just saying fusion worked really well with the daggers.
Yeah. and 5 gold, 5 copper pieces.
Ah.
We'll go this down to 35. All right, and I'm gonna turn to the others and say, and now I can get this one enchanted. So it'll be even more stabalicious. Because you never
Won't
know
turn
when
you
you're gonna
into
run
a
out of
spell
spells.
dagger yet.
Oh man, if they could enchant spell storing.
What kind of spells would you store in there?
Is that a question? Hi, this is my dagger of fireball +2.
Oh god.
I'll blow me up to blow us all up.
Daggers have throwing range.
Oh, right.
Even if you miss, it's gonna explode.
We're already not getting monetized, right?
Yeah, right.
So one of my new nicknames is gonna be Tarus of the Allahu Akbar.
Oh dear.
Oh God. So how did Taurus die? Premature detonation.
A sorcerer always explodes precisely when he means to.
Never before.
At least that's what I've always told the people in the brothel. Well, this has been a productive session. Anybody else need anything from the market?
Anybody else looking for anything? Rummaging through some stores?
I honestly can't think of anything.
Okay, y'all are pretty well kitted out as it is.
Yeah. I don't mind seeing how far my AC can go, but I'm not gonna push that.
Yeah. And Anu really doesn't care for things unless they do something interesting.
I expect you to abuse the crap out of those sandals.
Oh, I intend to. Although,
They seem
does the ruling
fantastic.
for my flurry of blows allow me to use it if I have another bonus action to use it?
You broke up a little bit. What was that?
I said, does the ruling for flurry of blows really allow me to use it twice? Because it says whenever I take the attack action, I can spend 1 key.
So I'm assuming this is gonna
But is
be
that all?
if Flurry of Blows is a bonus action, which I think it is.
It
As long
is.
as you spend 2 key points, I wouldn't put it past you to use 2 Flurry of Blows at once.
Heck
Be all like
yeah.
freaking Tylee.
I'm also gonna abuse it even further because I have that stunning strike, which causes someone to make a Constitution roll.
Yeah, so you're even more like Tylee.
Yeah, and what I can do is Hex is also a bonus action to cast. So I can cast Hex and inflict Stunning Strike all in the same turn.
You could do that. Also, your martial arts says when you take the attack action, you can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action without spending key. So you could, if you didn't want to hex or if they were already pre-hexed, you could make the attack action, bonus action for the unarmed strike or monk weapon strike, and then also a bonus action and a key point to flurry of blows.
And my second attack
And your second attack.
with my extra attack.
So technically, with Flurry of Blows, you can Flurry of Blows twice for 6 attacks.
Yeah. And then oh man, this could be really broken really fast.
That was the point.
Once I have more key points anyway. Because once I have a few more key points, I can do that and then use my class option for my draconic strikes, which adds another d6. Oh yeah, I'm gonna abuse the shit out of these. Also, I intend to, next time I get a feat, I intend to get the one that lets me be faster. And then I'm also intending, once I pick up my pact option, my pact boon, there's the Mystic Treaders that also give me like another 10 feet of speed. So if there's any like leg races during this competition, I got it.
Uh-oh.
Devin's got some soup. But yeah, if no one else has anything to do in the marketplace, we could head back to the wizards and be like, hey, what kind of enchantment you got, eh?
I'm cool with that.
Let's do it.
Bah.
Brr.
Okay, so you guys make your way back to the Wizards Guild, and you can see. Well, first you can hear Hef before you even get there. Just excited, like hollering, talking about all kinds of things that they could do. He's like going on and on about discus races and all kinds of crazy stuff. And at one point, like as soon as you round the corner, he's throwing his arms around and he's got a broomstick and he basically just explains Quidditch.
Done yet?
No, it's 7:30.
10 o'clock.
No, it's not. You dumb. Okay, well, I'll be done soon. At like 10 o'clock. So yeah,
I'm married. Like,
and you see the two
Wow,
guys who were sent to be there with him. They're just like they're both. One of them's got his head in his hands, and the other one's like rubbing his temples. Like, oh my god. Neither of them are actually paying a whole lot of attention to him.
Quidditch sounds fun. But yeah,
I'm imagining Turus being a seeker and just like using his fire as extra propellant to get to the snitch.
you don't think I'd be a bludger just blasting people out of the sky?
I don't think you would.
That's fair. There's probably a lot more a lot more showiness in being a seeker.
Yeah, and it really fits your cockiness too.
Ah, good. You spooked me. Oh. I get super distracted. I completely lost track of what we were doing.
You got completely distracted and did what?
I lost track of what you guys were doing. Oh, okay. So Hef is freaking out, explaining a bunch of stuff, and the guys are obviously disgruntled with him. So, yeah, this is what's happening.
I'm going to just pop over there and be like, well, I believe you boys have a good basis to start on. Hugh, if I have a chance, or Hef, if I have a chance, if I might have a moment.
And he like barely even notices that you're there. And when he turns around, he like swings the broom over top of your head, like just barely high enough to miss you. And then he looks down and like, oh, Truce, I didn't know you were here. Okay, what?
Truce going to slightly adjust his mask and just be like,
Oh, ooh, what can I do you for, buddy?
I was wondering if any of you or your companions here might have some interesting enchantments.
Oh, enchantments, you say? Why'd you find something you want to put a cool spell on?
If it can have a spell on it, shouldn't it?
Well, my man Finnick is the one to talk to. Just go right inside, and he'll be the second office on the left.
His name is Finnick.
Finnick.
Sounds like a real
Sounds
fox.
very finicky.
We went two very different directions, but I'm okay with both.
It kind of is a real fox. It is a real fox.
So I'm
Whilst-
gonna give him the finger guns and be like, try to go slow with those two. They're not as keen-minded as the rest of us.
And he looks back to them, and he's like, I see what you mean. And then he like finger guns you back, but it's like the most awkward thing ever. He's just like,
It drops the
hey.
broom.
Yeah, it just drops the broom and it hits the ground and like falls on his foot. Oh yeah, the Finnick. Okay, all right, guys, and then he just goes on a tangent again, and doesn't change how he's approaching it at all.
I'm going to look
Oh.
back at the two companions I brought with me and be like, we're surrounded by idiots.
I was gonna. That's my line. You have no room to talk.
Animus just sighs deeply as he glosses over both of his companions.
I don't know what you're talking about. Crosses my arms and walks towards Finnick's office with a huff.
But yeah, as he walks off, I grab Hef's attention. I'm like, while he's doing that, might you guys have a library I could peruse? Never hurts to check in on another wizard's research as far as new spells goes.
As a matter of fact, we do have an extensive library. If you go in and go to the right, it will be the first room on the right. But mind the step; it's a little bit bigger than it seems.
Ha. Would you say the step is a grower, not a shower?
No.
No, I would not.
uh, Anime sighs deeply again and then heads off in the direction of the library.
All right. So who's doing their thingy first?
Whichever one God decides to go first.
You want to roll initiative on doing things?
All right, Animeus.
Woot woot.
Woot woot. So you go inside, take the right, and the first room is like almost immediately to the right. Like there's barely even 3 inches of space between the doorway and like the corridor that you went into the building through. And it seems like it's a broom closet, like as small as it is to the next door. But as you push it open, it's like the TARDIS. Like it's just this massive library.
It's bigger on the inside. I don't know if anyone's still with me, but I started drooling vigorously and then quickly like look around, wipe my face off, and regain my composure and walk in like I own the place.
I'm gonna say you got a little bit too excited and didn't mind the step, and it just kind of like drops off a foot. Right. But yeah, there are actually 3 floors of books in this place. You regain your composure though. There are actually 3 floors of books in this place, and the outside of the building was 1 story tall.
I'm going to be here for the rest of the campaign, aren't I?
Alright, so what you doing?
Knowledge, insight. Which way should I go? I have no idea. There's too many books. There's my low roll of the day.
There it is. So I guess you decide to just go sit in the table in the middle and look at like People's Magazine or something.
Do I see any type of librarian around?
Yes, there is 1 person on a floating disc with a stack of books on another disc floating around behind them, and they are shuffling books around.
He looks like an orangutan, but don't call him a monkey.
And he's using Mage Hand to pick up a book off of the other disc and hand it to him as he's putting books on the shelf and taking books off.
I whisper as well, a loud whisper, but still whisper, "Excuse me."
And he just turns around and says, "Huh? What? Who said that?" Oh, I didn't even see you come in.
Well, apparently they don't have to be quiet in the library here. Philosopher is a different breed. I'm gonna say, might I bother you as to the direction of your charms and enchantments?
Hence, you say. Well, we do have an extensive collection of books on the matter. It's like I can't really say if we have too many spell scrolls or anything of that nature that you could copy down because you know I just kind of tend to the place. I don't read a whole lot of it, but yeah, if you want to go up to the 3rd floor, 8th shelf on the right, that's where all of our uh, all of that stuff is going to be. And then, as he says that, the disc that the books are floating on actually separates into 2 discs, when one comes down from beneath it and then comes down to you.
Oh, clever. Might I also inquire as to where I might find specs on how this little doodad is made?
He says, "That's go talk to Finnick. He makes them all the time."
Ah, so I'm gonna have to go back and talk to the other ones too. Okay. Yeah, I get on the platform and go up to the area he specified and start perusing.
So what you looking for?
Any interesting spell scrolls or information on any of the spells that I've seen today?
Okay. Did you? Okay, you rolled for that.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Did I? I didn't.
I
roll
saw a
anything
perception roll.
yet. That was to see if there was a librarian about.
Oh, I missed that. All right, go ahead and give me another roll. Perception or investigation or anything.
I'm gonna do investigation because I have higher intelligence than I do wisdom. I'm not metagaming.
Okay, so you're perusing through there, and you find a book that is all about sound altering spells, and it gives the rundown on how it creates this ward and um like what am I supposed to say? Makes the air around a certain area more rigid, so it's more difficult for sound to travel through it, and it's more of like a it's not a specific spell in itself, but it's a way to use like an elemental air spell. So technically, Kariki would be able to do it if he honed his, gust of wind well enough. So you've basically found instructions on how to do that, and it says, maximum range is within just so many feet, but it's determined on humidity and temperature and all that other stuff. It's very extensive.
I take notes on it. I start to put it into my bag, and then I slap my right hand with my left hand.
And then you were looking for something like that kind of teleportation thing that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you find a scroll that is incomplete. That is like someone's obviously been working on getting the spell down, and it's talking about how there are different side effects where they tried to uh a little side note like in small text being like use inanimate objects first, we're not going to lose another cat. So yeah, it's rough. It kind of explains how to do it with small objects, but yeah, they never got to the back to testing it on living creatures again.
I'm going to need to find a small cat for this. Maybe a Tarus-sized cat, I wonder.
Glad you stuck with Taru-sized cat.
We'll try big cats afterwards.
If you can learn enlarge reduce, be my guest.
All right, I copy down those notes too, and I continue to peruse a long while, but I'll inevitably will head back towards Tarus. But yeah, you can have his turn now.
All right, Taurus. As you head down the hall and you enter this this room, you see. Hold on, I'm opening your link quickly. Yep.
From the spell Enlarge from Magic the Gathering.
That's mighty terrifying.
There's a card for everything.
Just about it. So you enter this room, and there's this this guy in robes leaned over this desk, and he's just like hammering the crap out of a shield with this itty bitty hammer. Like it's like 4 inches long and like a little bitty ball peen hammer, and he's just like wailing on this shield. And there's just like oils and potions and like random things just scattered all over the place, like a rabbit's foot or like a fish in a jar, just all kinds of random crap all over the place. And he looks up from what he's doing. He's got these massive goggles on, like they have like 3 different lenses on them. And he says, "Oh, you must be the guy that Hef was talking about."
Yep. And he's gonna kind of crack his fingers and say, "And Hef actually sent me to try and requisition from you one of your strongest enchantments." He said that you in particular were one of the most talented enchanters that he's ever seen, if not the most talented. So I know you come very highly recommended.
And he's just going to push the chair out and stand up, and everything that was in his lap or on the table just falls in the floor. And he's just like, "That's it. Phoenix my name, enchanting's the game." And he just kind of kicks his stuff out of the way. And he's like, "So what are you looking for? Please be something exciting. I'm tired of all this boring, like, defensive spells. I want something crazy."
And Tarus is just going to, his eyes are going to glitter and say, "Well, if offensive spells are what you're looking for," and he's going to pull out the dagger and hold it by the blade and say, "What could you do with something so innocuous as this?"
and then he'll like excitedly take it out of his hand. He's like, well, I could probably
You broke up.
open letters with it, or if I had some cheese, I could. Oh, you mean what can I put on it? He's like, He like flips it around a little bit and uses the weight and like throws it and sticks it into the desk. Really quickly, picks it up again. He says, I think I have something in mind. I heard you like fire spells.
Like fire spells. And Teresa's eyes are just going to like start smoking a little bit from the sides. And he's going to look around and say, if we weren't indoors right now, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Claw would cuff me.
So he's just like beaming, a big stupid grin on his face. He's all excited about it. He takes it and he's like, there's something I've been trying out, but I haven't had anyone want to do this. So I've had this idea that you can have a projectile that explodes when you throw it. Like not like a powder explosion, but like you can
But like you could
store
what?
a spell in it. Like
But
so
you
when it
could what?
hits, it just goes. That you could store a spell in something that you throw.
Finnick, we're going to be very good friends.
And then he's like, but I haven't really tested it out yet because nobody's wanted me to bring it or wanted me to do it. So it may work, it may not work. It depends on how much of a risk you want to take. It may blow up in your hands, it may blow up in somebody's face, it may blow up in my hands, or it just may not even work at all. Or it may just be a little bit warm to the touch all the time. I don't know.
So Teresa is going to just looking directly at him. He's going to like just cast a fireball and create the little bead of fire in one hand. And he's going to say, see this? This is what I do. And then he's going to counterspell it so that it doesn't blow up the room and say, I can take an explosion or 4.
You said you can take an explosion?
Or 4. I've got a... So Teresa is just going to just smile and like he's just like there's just heat coming off of him and he's going to go, so do your best or do your worst. As long as things explode, I'll be happy.
So Finnick is just gonna start giggling and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get right on it." So he just like rakes everything off of the table and starts getting stuff off the tables or off of the shelves and be like, "I'll see you tomorrow." It's gonna be at least a 24-hour job.
Teresa is just gonna like, Godspeed, sir. Godspeed. And I'm going to walk away.
So I guess you walk away, and by the time you get to the corridor, there's already like a gout of flame flying out of the doorway. And you're just like, I'm okay.
So I'm going to walk back outside where I presume Claw is probably waiting for us. And Teresa, like, the grin is going further than physically possible. like the mask representation of his grin is like the Cheshire cat, like curling around his eyes.
I take it your enchantment was successful.
It will be, one way or the other.
At least I don't have to call on anyone to start a funeral pyre anymore.
Did you ever?
Duly noted.
Where did Anu go?
I thought he was with you. Is he? Did you hear where he was going?
No, I walked off to find Finnick as soon as I knew where I was going.
Oh, fun. Should we wait here for him?
Probably. He'll show up eventually.
At this point, you have about an hour before you need to get back to the arena.
Or we might need to find him and get going. Hey, Hef, which way did Tall and Ugly go?
It's like, I told you Finnick was in his... Oh, okay. No, the other guy, he went to the library.
I just spilled a little soup on myself.
Oh, no.
The problems of having a beard. Yep.
But that's where you keep your snacks for later.
That's why it's called a flavor saver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't want my flavor saver to drip on my nice shirt.
You're talking to two other people with beards. At least I think you still have one, Lucas.
It just depends on what on the month. But yeah, I still got one.
I still can't grow one.
Oh.
So, going to try and head to the library to try and find Anu. And it's about that time, buddy.
Yep. I'm going to try to go to the library as well. Because cats love libraries. If we're sticking with the normal cat rules.
And I am very much not going to watch my step on the first.
So yeah, open the door.
Okay.
And obviously, I will say Tarus goes first. So how hard do you fumble? It's a 1 foot drop.
That's more than half of his height.
I'm going to roll this with disadvantage because I am just like skipping. I fall hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got his 5 out too. There you go.
All right, buddy. Tell me how bad this face plan is.
Slash roll 1d. How much? Rolling damage is how much damage?
This is D6.
It was about halfway.
Just thunk.
Tarus is just gonna like lie there on the ground face down for a brief moment, and you just hear, "Watch the first step. It's a bit of a doozy."
Clown just kind of smirks and just reaches over and picks him up as he continues down the step. I'm gonna use the 3 of lay on hands on him.
And then, as you know, by the time you've got to where you're healing him, the librarian's going to be like, "Oh, hey, watch the step."
You don't say.
I was just gonna nod and say thank you. I heard it was a doozy.
I imagine at this point you're still just holding Tarus up by the back of his shirt, and
Yeah.
he's just like sitting there, just why yeah.
I'm gonna like
My
set
God.
him down on the ground, just
Just
gently, and
heal
just kind of tap the top of his mask a few times and be like, "It's okay."
Anyway, Anu. He's gonna walk over to the table where Anu is sitting, probably
No,
dripping.
if you walk in, if your perception is good enough, you might notice some movement beyond an enormous stack of scrolls and books. Like, when I say enormous, I mean a mountain unto itself.
I could probably find you.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to walk over to the stack and then try and find you and tap you on the shoulder.
As you reach in, I'm completely startled. I have to wipe the river of drool coming off of my face. Like, oh, Tarus. I didn't see you there.
We're wrapping up.
Like, how much longer?
8:30 at the latest. Wow, what's the deal?
Because I wanted to watch a movie or whatever. I've been waiting for you. You wanted to watch Glass, and I want to finish it.
Okay, well, we're
You said 8 o'clock.
wrapping up.
You better be.
I guess this means we don't have time to do the game thing.
Nope, I will say the combat encounter will be a next session thing.
Alright.
Yeah, but you guys finish up your role play. Yeah, for real.
So,
Honestly, that's a pretty good intro point for your homie if he decides to jump in.
oh, the tournament?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. So he like I said, from the Amon Ket book, he's leaning most towards Naga. They're kind of long, but they're still considered a medium-sized creature, so he didn't think it'd be that much of an issue.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I don't think it should be an issue at all.
I told him flight might be an issue from the Avon perspective, just because flight on a ranged physical character at low levels is kind of strong.
Yeah, that's kind of OP.
That's why Eric Hakra and Asimar are really good.
Yep. So that's why he saw that and was like, yeah, that's really good, but I would understand if he said no to this. And then he's like, so he said, so I'm looking at Naga, and if he doesn't want that because of the size, since they can be like 10 to 20 feet long.
Damn.
But they stand at a height of 5 feet normally. And they are still considered medium creatures, but he's like, but if that's going to be an issue, then he could always roll up an elf from Kaladesh. But yeah. So I'm assuming Anu's coming with.
Yeah, give me just a second. I gotta get some underwear for this kid.
This is where she starts sending in little ones to guilt him into closing shop. Everyone's worried about me being in a library.
Why are we worried about you being in the library?
Oh, I was thinking the marketplace, not the library. Sorry. I feel like you being in a library would be the worst.
He's trying very hard not to just smoke the place up.
Think of all that kindling.
Oh, we'd have a planeswalker battle.
Yeah. It's time to duel.
Oh yeah, Anu never really gets mad. He's a well-tempered, completely neutral character. But you fuck up a library.
Nah, libraries are good.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
What'd I miss?
I did not set fire to the library.
Ah, man.
Whenever have any of you guys seen Harmon Quest on VRV?
I've seen it, but I've not watched it, if that makes sense.
There's this episode where like the goblin character is completely illiterate, and so like they're in this like library, and he gets pissed off at the sight of books because he's illiterate, and like that makes him feel like insignificant in the sight of the written word, and he like thinks it's evil, so he starts like chewing on books, and he starts like peeing on a stack of books. And then he like sets fire to the library. You guys got really quiet.
Sorry, I'm looking at the almond kit thing. I like Nog. I think I don't really have a problem with Avon, but the only thing I can think of is like putting some kind of restriction on flight time.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that kind of negates
it-
the whole point of being a bird person.
I mean, he could be a chicken.
Then he's just a kinku.
All right. All right. You're allowed to be. You're allowed to be an emu. You can fuck up Australia, but that's about it.
Essentially. Okay.
I'm assuming the bird person class like just gives them a flight speed.
Yeah, they just have a flight speed of like 30 feet.
So
Yep.
they can just like fly whenever. Yeah,
They're-
that's
they're-
really broken.
Their base movement is 25 with a flight 30.
The only restriction this has is you can't fly when you're wearing medium or heavy armor or if you're encumbered.
Which for a ranger, you could just keep it to light armor and be fine.
Yeah.
He can make a character that's afraid of heights. That would work out. He has the flying speed, but he's terrified of flying.
Yeah. If it were a different kind of campaign, I might allow it, but I'm kind of feeling no. Because like if you put a restriction on it, it just kind of defeats the purpose, you know? Naga seems fine with me. Okay.
Sorry, I muted myself so you guys didn't hear the sounds of me slurping soup.
It's all good. Okay, so you guys are back together and still in the library, right?
Yep, we are trying to drag him out of here and get him back to the games on time.
Okay. So I think that's actually a good place to leave it off with this internal party conflict because Anu's like, now books. And you're like, no, previous arrangement and money.
We could spend money on books. Your share, at least.
Okay, cool beans. I like these roleplay sessions. They're freaking
They're what?
blast, man.
They're fairy?
They're a blast.
They're very robotic.
I like these roleplay sessions. They're a blast.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or are you telling the truth right now.
I am speaking the truth.
I know, I'm joking. I was being
love it.
sarcastic myself.
Sorry, I don't understand sarcasm. Daniel's rubbing off on me.
Well, considering what happened in Phoenix office, I'm pretty sure it was a blast.
Oh yeah.
As the building shakes again.
Dust settles from the rafters.
Tarus is just going to look at his friends and be like, I love this place.
Oh dear. Sorry, I wasn't RPing that much.
You're all good. It kind of seems like the sticky situations they got themselves in didn't lend itself to your character all that much.
No, that did not. You know, you can't. Sometimes you have to be true to your character and play your oath.
Yep. Oh, speaking of, I'm not gonna say anything else.
Cool.
Just to let you guys in on something, I'm currently having a commission done, and you'll be able to meet this character next session.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh God, that's another Skirly.
I was gonna say, is another walking and talking? Well, not walking, but floating diaphragm.
I hope not, because I'd be quite upset if they draw him that way.
Look, I paid for a character commission, and you gave me a glorified whoopee cushion.
But we turned it Super Saiyan, so it was completely worth it.
I've already gotten a yes, definitely worth it. I've already gotten a rough pre-detail sketch, and I'm absolutely in love. I want to share, but it kind of ruins the reveal, so it makes me happy and stuff.
So next session will be 2 weeks?
Yep, 2 weeks from today.
Sounds good.
Yep. We'll shoot for 3 o'clock, maybe a little bit earlier. It just depends. Well, I think I'm going to have to go watch Glass now.
You're going to
Have fun.
to?
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Well, no, it's not that it's bad. It's just I'm never in the mood to watch a movie. I don't like sitting. Well, I mean, I can't say I don't like sitting down for that long because I play Apex for like 6 hours at a time. But
And we've been in this call since what, 3?
yeah, something like that. I don't know. I just don't ever feel like watching a movie. Well, cool beans and stuff and things.
Yeah.